Students, hope you all are having a great day. Today I will be reciting to you your lesson number 2, the nuclear test. Amma, why are you removing all my things from the cupboard? Anjali asked in a voice which sounded like she was ready for a fight. You already know, Anjali. Dada and Dadi are going to need some place for keeping the things. Her mother replied firmly. But Ma, where will my things go? This has been my room since I was a baby. Why should I give up everything just because Dada and Dadi are coming to live with us? Cried Anjali. Come on, Anju. You are not giving up everything. You are only going to sleep on the couch in the hall instead of in this room. And your things can be accommodated elsewhere, replied her mother, trying to be sensitive but feeling rather exasperated with her daughter's endless objections. This is how it had been ever since Anjali had been told that her grandparents would be living with them from now on. They had recently sold off all their land in the village where they had lived for most of their life. Dada was merging 70 now and was too old to be able to run the farm all by himself. He had promised he would not leave his beloved land till he died, but he was finding it more and more difficult to live there alone. All his children had migrated to the cities. Two of Anjali's chachajis were abroad. Only Papa lived in Pune, while Rita Bua was in Delhi. Dada had been persuaded by Anjali's father to come and live with them. Papa wanted all of them to join together as a joint family. He could then take care of his aging parents. Of course, Anjali enjoyed meeting her grandparents during the holidays, but that did not mean she was going to be happy giving up her room for them. Anjali was an only child. Never in her life had she liked sharing anything, and she was not ready to change now. And so it was when her grandparents came, Anjali was fussy, irritating, and brattish first. She had made a big hue and cry over how she had lost her room. When she wasn't making rude comments, she would not talk much and pretended to be glued to her favorite program on the TV. She was not very polite and complained, though not directly, for she was afraid of her father's wrath. It was true, having grandparents living with them needed adjusting to a new routine. They were used to a different way of life. They woke up much before anyone else did, and that made things awkward. Dadi was forever doing some puja or the other, and if there was objections to onion in the one day, it was eggs the next. They would not go out to eat in restaurants. They would not watch movies in the theaters. They would not enjoy shopping just for fun. They thought strap dresses were too foreign and short skirts totally avoidable. Pop music was just noise, and ice cream were not good for health. The one thing they did share was an addiction to television, but the programs they watched put Anjali to sleep. Anjali suddenly felt as if she had been imprisoned. The house, all 850 feet of compact space planning, suddenly looked too small. As the days passed, Anjali's anger mirrored into a guarded truce. It was impossible to remain angry with someone who was so kind. Dadi stopped commenting on her clothes and even bought her a pretty t-shirt when they went sightseeing. TV became a divided schedule of the most favorite program on each individual list. Dada helped Anjali with the projects, and he was a big help with the math syllabus. He also got Anjali into the habit of reading the newspaper, and they would exchange worldviews when he went to walk with her to the bus stop every morning. Anjali's mother worked in an office, and she left along with the father every morning. Breakfast was always cornflakes, and it was usually sandwiches for Anju's lunchbox. And when her mother got back in the evening, she was so exhausted herself that cooking was never a great activity. But now Dadi had taken over the kitchen, She actually said that she was getting bored of doing nothing. Dadi was a fantastic cook. Suddenly, they were being pampered with the most divine parathas and sabzi, mithai and pakoras, salads and pickles. Anjali's mother could now slow down a little and rest her feet. She even had more time for her daughter. She was also immeasurably reassured that her child was in the most caring hands possible. Till one day when her grandparents announced, "We are thinking of going to Rita's place for a while." Before anyone could say anything, Anjali burst out, "Oh, can I have my room back then? Dada Dadi, when are you going?" The silence that followed was terrible, and only Dadi had some kind and general words to fill it with. Later, apart from her room, Anjali got the worst scolding she deserved. And in 2 days, they were a nuclear family again, but it was a lonely achievement. There was no one to come home to but the silly TV. There was no one to talk to. Her mother was again overworked with no time for anything or anybody. But most of all, the noise and the bustle of one big happy family had faded into silence. The house, all 850 of compact space planning, suddenly looked too big. When the phone rang the following night, just like they had expected it would, it was Anjali who ran and picked it up to say, "Dada Dadi, when are you coming back?" So that's the end of the story, students. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.